New York's Attorney General Letitia James also facing criticism today. It's for how she handled an investigation into the killing of Daniel Prude. Prude died in March of last year, 1 week after being held down by Rochester police during a mental health episode. The AG's office did not convince a grand jury to charge those officers. However, after the AG's office led a thorough investigation into Governor Cuomo, critics are questioning whether that office was equally diligent in this case. Let's bring in NBC News national reporter Janelle Griffith now. Janelle, Attorney General James was praised for the Cuomo investigation after we learned the details of the report there. What are critics saying about how that compares to the Prude investigation?
So attorneys for Daniel Prude's family and other legal experts have publicly questioned whether prosecutors did everything they could to secure a against the police officer who restrained him that morning in March. And one of the family attorneys who I spoke to told me, quote, "What the investigation into Andrew Cuomo shows is that when her office wants to put resources towards conducting a thorough investigation, they know how to do that." What critics and the attorneys for the Prude family have taken particular exception to is one expert that had testified before the grand jury, a doctor from San Diego, who testified that the police officers did not act inappropriately when they restrained Daniel Prude. And the critics and the Prude family attorneys have questioned why, if her goal was to get justice for Daniel Prude, why would she present this expert? They feel like she did so, or her office did so, to exonerate the police officers and get the end result that we reached, which was that none of the officers were indicted.
And Janelle, as we're hearing this criticism, has the Prude family weighed in anymore at this point?
They have not weighed in recently, other than through their attorneys that I spoke to, but they just feel like Ms. James's office failed them and failed the public.
And what about the Attorney General's office? What's been their response in terms of how they investigated this case and the fact that charges were not filed against the officers?
Ms. James has defended her office's handling of the investigation and what they presented to the grand jury. She has said, quote, they presented the strongest case possible. And she also, to her credit, she did disclose the grand jury proceedings. Typically, that's secret, and she petitioned a judge to make those proceedings public. And after the grand jury chose not to indict any of the officers, she also introduced legislation that she said would make it easier to prosecute police officers who are accused of using excessive force or unnecessary force, because that was part of the issue here, was an argument of whether the use of force was justified or not.
All right, Janelle Griffith for us today. Janelle, thank you.